Bat Force Radio.
Bat Force Radio is rated M for mature, or should that be immature?
Hey guys, Dustin Witt.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
You're listening to Bat Force Radio.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and you're listening to Bat Force Radio, so stay tuned.
I'm going to start off with I'm such a diva, but welcome to this episode of Everything Batman podcast. I am your host, Everything Batman. Today we have one of our members of the Bat Force Radio. We got Gramps on the podcast.
Howdy.
And one of our partners in crime this weekend over at Dallas Fan Expo, we got Levi joining us.
Yo.
Con season at full force. Here we are. There's a lot going on. Most weekends are fun packed with a lot of cons going on. But the three of us we were fortunate enough to go to the Dallas Fan Expo this past weekend. And through this heat wave going on in Texas, luckily we were indoors for the majority of it. But it was an action-packed weekend. A lot of great cosplayers, artists, vendors, and we interacted with a lot of people there. So we want to take this time to actually discuss and kind of go through what we experienced.
Long time no see.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
But coming into this Comic-Con, I guess the week leading up to it is always like prepping, right? You're like, oh, who's going to be there? Who canceled? How did it look like for you guys?
There were a lot of like last minute cancellations that I noticed during that final couple of days leading up to the con. That I was disappointed. You're always disappointed when people that you want to see, cancel, but you realize, they have their lives too, and they have things going on, and sometimes they just can't make it. But it was nice to see, Dallas Fan Expo back, and I mean, it really felt like the fans and attendees were just super excited to have the convention back. They came out really strong all 3 days. It wasn't, I wouldn't say as packed as I've seen it in the past years pre-pandemic, but it was very solid, very, very, very highly attended.
Yeah, I mean, on Saturday it was pretty much elbow to elbow if you were in specific areas at least.
Right.
But there was still, some spaces you could kind of go off to the side and breathe a little bit.
Yeah. And they've only been having that convention in the Dallas, what's it called? Kaylee Hutchinson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like what, the third or fourth maybe?
Yeah. Fourth max.
Yeah, maybe the third. So it's a much larger venue than where they were having this in years past. They quickly outgrew the Irving Convention Center, which was just a 3-story convention center that, it was very easy to get around, but the space was so limited. That always felt packed. And this Dallas Convention Center is just massive.
The Irving one had like one escalator to the other floors, so it would just back up like crazy.
Just one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Compared to like the 16 we had in this one?
It was terrible.
But we had some good times at that convention center, didn't we, Levi?
Yeah. I mean, technically we met in Comic Palooza in Houston, but I think you first saw me back in the day when I was cosplaying at Irving first, because that's when I did Robin Dawn.
Yeah. Now, we were laughing because Levi used to do a lot of cosplay, and I met him in that Houston Comic Palooza because he was doing the Sons of Batman. And
Right.
no one ever does the Sons of Batman. So I was like, wow, this is really cool.
That's awesome.
And then he did Robin Dawn. He did, one of the mutant gang leaders. I was like, this guy is like on my level. I really like this guy's taste. And then you did Mr. Freeze one year, right?
I did Mr. Freeze, the new 52 version of Mr. Freeze, and then this like my own version of Secret Wars Daredevil.
Yes.
And that was like before the show was out. So I was being like a hipster with it, So
no, that was a kick-ass costume. That was so cool. I was like, wow. I was like, maybe I want to do this. But I think the best cosplay you ever did was it Nightwing or was
it Tim Drake Robin?
Tim Drake Robin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He had it was like the Pied Piper. He had like, we're walking around and all these girls are following him around going, oh, this guy's cute.
Just constantly, man.
It was awesome.
That's not a bad problem to have.
Yeah. Back then I was a lot more in shape. So like the spandex clung to me a lot better than it does now. But
it's had the bulge out. All right. Girls were like, he's packing some heat.
Yeah. So we go back to when the Dallas Fan Expo, they had two every year. They had the Fan Expo, and then they had, what else was the second one?
It initially was just Dallas Comic-Con before Fan Expo got it, I think, right?
And it was Fan Days or something like that.
Right.
And then once they moved to downtown Dallas, it took on a whole nother level. I mean, that's when Fan Expo came in, I guess, and started bringing, the celebrities, their format where it's not just a Comic-Con, it's celebrities and all the merchants that come in. And it's much bigger, but it takes a lot more people for it to feel like this is a big convention. And pre-pandemic, there was one year when they squeezed some of the celebrities, the Walking Dead cast. They had to cancel on Sunday, so they squeezed all the photo opportunities to Saturday. And that just brought tons more people. And that was the most I've ever seen that place packed. I mean, it was uncomfortable.
That was the last con that I went to until this time. Just because that one was so miserable. I was like, I don't know if this is like if Dallas is the place to be anymore.
Right. So this felt good this year. This felt,
Yeah, I think I was before when the pandemic and I guess Friday the 13th occurred, right? It was like 2 weeks to turn, to the curve and all that nonsense. 2 weeks from that day, I was supposed to go to Dallas Fan Expo that year, 2020, right. And I was just like, "Come on, everyone, we could do this. I don't want to. I want to go to Dallas so bad."
Right.
And part of me going this year was like I just wanted to go because like I never been to Dallas, and I missed out on that Fan Expo, and I was like, I need to go. Like I need to redeem myself and use all the credits that I had from Delta that time period for not flying, because you're like, you better use it by the end of 2022. I'm like, fuck, I gotta go. But going into Dallas, I didn't even look at the weather, and thank God Gramps texted me. He's like, yo, you're not gonna need a hoodie or a jacket this weekend. And I'm like, wait, what?
No.
And I look and I'm like 101, 102, 104. And I'm like, feels like 118. And I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I going out there? And I text him back, and I was like, looks like I could just walk around in my underwear, like I should be fine. Like we didn't see that.
That's what cosplay's for.
Yeah, that's what cosplay's for. I should just walk around in my underwear. But getting into Dallas for me, I flying from Albany. It was like waking up at 3:00 in the morning, getting on my plane. I was DC, then went to Dallas, went straight to the hotel, dropped my shit off, grabbed my books, I didn't know where the entrance was to the con. So I legit like walked around the block clockwise. So if I did counterclockwise, I would have found the entrance like the street over. But no, I went counterclockwise, and I was like, yo, it's too hot for this. And here I am with my backpack, my Hex backpack with 2 store folios full of comics, sweating my balls off.
You put miles in the aisles without even getting in.
I really need to get in. And they're like, just go through here, and it's the parking lot. And I went through the parking lot. I finally got in. I was like, oh, thank God. And I was like, the heat actually woke me up because being up at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is 2 o'clock in the morning for you guys, by the time I actually got to the convention center, it was about like 1 o'clock. And I was just like, I needed something to wake me up because I was exhausted. But that was just the beginning of my day until Gramps hit me up, and luckily he did.
Yeah, I was driving in, and I was expecting to meet you at your hotel so we could go to lunch because the con didn't start until 4 o'clock.
The con don't start till I walk in.
I was just like, okay, we're going to go grab some lunch and then start this con off. I get to the hotel in downtown Dallas, and I'm like, all right, where are you? He's like, yo, I'm at the con. What? It's 1 o'clock.
Yeah. I was in already for like, I was in about like 1:15, and I just did a quick walk around because since I guess I work, stretch it. I work for Capture Collectibles as a CGC witness. I had an exhibitor pass that they gave me when I got there. So I was like, I didn't know that you could just walk right in and no one asks you any questions. And I was just like, yeah, this is dope. So I just walked right in, and I was trying to get exclusive comic books, but of course that 423 was already sold out before the con even started, which is bullshit.
Okay. Yeah, explain how that happened again. I don't understand.
So, remember that main entrance where you actually have to show your pass when you go in?
Mm-hmm.
Like right before you step into the con, they're going to be like, hey, your pass. If you're an exhibitor, you walk right in, but everyone else has to wait for a certain time. So if you're VIP, you go in at 2. No, VIP went in at, I think it was 3 o'clock, and then everyone else went in at 4. But the booth where they sell all the exclusives are right outside of that door. So people could just be hanging out in the lobby buying everything before the con starts. So it's like, if you could show up to the lobby at 10 o'clock in the morning and someone's there, you could start buying books. It was so that portion was like poorly managed because it's like,
yeah. And I'm assuming it was very limited supply.
It was only 200 copies for that con, as far as I know. And it was like, it just didn't give anyone a chance,
No. And do you think that they had like 1 per person limit, or somebody just went in there and just bought?
As far as I know, there should have been 1 per person. But I saw people on the Whatnot booth with like 6 or 7.
Right. So
yeah. So it's like, unless they had a whole crew and everyone bought it and they were like, oh, we're going to split this, we're going to be rich. Maybe that. But at the end of the day, it's like at 1 o'clock, 2 hours before the VIPs and 3 hours before general admission, those books were sold out already. So that was a kick in the dick. But I picked up the boys exclusive. That was pretty by Francisco Matina.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back the following day and someone asked for the DKR foil, so I picked that up. It looks like that actually sold out at the end of the con, which is pretty neat. Like,
yeah, it was good. I grabbed one. I grabbed one because it was a neat cover where the lightning is the tin foil.
Yeah,
kind of the reflective tin. But I grabbed one with prayers that there was going to be a Miller appearance because he signed an exclusive deal with Fan Expo.
Yeah.
But I don't know why he didn't attend. But
yeah,
that's neither here nor there. But I grabbed one with anticipation that, okay, if he makes like some kind of secret unannounced appearance, I was going to have something for him to sign.
Yeah. That would have been awesome. But yeah, when you called me and I was at the con, I was just like, oh, I'm at the con. Like legit, I was smack in the middle of the con, like in the middle of all the vendors. And I was just like, all right, where do I meet you? And then let's just say like 40 minutes later, I stuffed my face with some amazing barbecue.
Yes.
What was the name of the place again?
Heim Barbecue.
Great.
Over at was it Love Field?
Right across from Love Field, right across from the airport.
That place was amazing, man. It was everything about that experience was amazing. If you haven't been there and you're in Dallas, make sure you go and get the plate. I went with 2 meats. You should go for 3.
We should have done like all the meats and just had a smorgasbord of all the meats. Yeah, that's like my go-to. Hey, I've got a client or a friend in town and they want something good, I'll take them there.
Nah, that spot was legit. Thank you for taking me there because I ate enough. I was kind of full. But once I got up, I'm 6'7". That shit just went, all right, Comic-Con time. I got my energy.
Yeah.
But a little after that, we headed over back to the con. Thanks to Dana over at the ticket section who helped us get media passes to get in. That was quite the process. Make sure you have a scan code next time instead of making us type out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was really cool for us. I mean, I don't know. I kind of felt important. I don't think Bat Force Radio is really like professional press, but you know, it made you feel like, okay, yeah, we can get a little access that other people may not have to talk to this person or see this person. And it was really really awesome experience to be able to do that. We found the media room where you could go and do interviews and go right up to the celebrity tables to take photos, not cut the line, but just to take like a press photo. But yeah, it was a real neat experience to have that press access.
It's a little different than just being like the peasants. No, it's a little different because it's like, all right, cool. And like it's a conversation piece because like some people do look at your pass when you go up to their tables and they're just like, press, what do you do? And then you have it's a conversation piece and it's like, it's kind of a minor intro to discuss what we do with Bat Force and and our platform and who we had on and such. So it's like it does help.
Yeah, and it helped you like it helped me take photos of people for your account, so then you can share it and share Travis Langley,
right?
Like for example, him, like you can share his photo and his booth and with a wider audience, which is really cool,
right?
So, and the press passes definitely helped with that.
It gives you a little more access, and again, you're more approachable when it comes to the people who are actually working the event. And so thanks again, Dana. And during that process, you actually got a legit lanyard.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, you ran out of lanyards now, and like now you give this guy a legit one.
Right,
like, damn, I'm over here with a rope on my neck.
I was the most official of the press,
camera and all.
Well, you had the camera, so it made sense.
Yeah. It did help, especially with like attendees and stuff asking to take pictures of their cosplays and things like that. Like, I think it got people excited, whether or not they should have been. Who knows? But
that was great. And again, thank you for coming through with the camera.
Yeah.
So we get in, right? First thing. Graham's first stop is this toy section. With, it was a bunch of army men. Was it?
Well, the G.I. Joes.
Yeah, the G.I. Joes.
Oh yeah, they had like all the original vintage G.I. Joes, and they had so many of them. It's like, wow, this is like a museum exhibit right here. It was crazy.
That was like the second booth.
Right. I know. I was like, what was funny? I had some cash because it was my birthday weekend. I'd gotten some cash, and I was like, all right, this is going to be my budget. That budget lasted about 30 minutes.
A budget did not exist at a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
You bring cash and you have your credit card handy.
Right.
Be prepared with payment plans.
Yeah.
Well,
like that.
In the past, using the credit card, you kind of were saved by grace a little bit because they had poor internet connection inside that convention center.
Yeah.
So they're like, nope, cash only. So if I ran out of cash, that was it. The spending stopped.
Yeah.
No, they got the good internet in there now. So
yeah,
there were no issues.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the card worked really well.
Yeah, there's a couple of times I swiped my credit card just because I was like, I need to have cash on me. It's only day one, right?
Yeah.
So a couple of times I swiped, and then I think, I guess we'll get to it after photos. Like at the beginning of day 2, I was just like, I have to use some cash. I think an hour and a half into day 2, I was like, fuck, I got to use my credit card. Because I was like, I'm running low on cash.
Right.
Like, I don't know how long this day is going to be, right? So it's like, I try to balance both. But I only brought $800 cash with me. I only brought back 60. And I haven't looked at my credit card yet because that's going to be, when I get paid on Friday, I'll worry about that.
Yeah.
But
good plan.
Yeah, you have to like gauge the spending because I was fortunate enough to walk in, right, with my exhibitor pass and like get a gauge of the whole con before I spent any money. And then I went back out and I was like, all right, cool. Now I know what my game plan is. I know where people are sitting. I know where some exclusives are going to be sold and all that stuff. And it was like, cool. But like for anyone else who walks in, it's like, do I get this now or do I get it later? And that's like that's an endless fight in conning.
Right. Yeah. And it's like overload because the one thing that I noticed with the merchant area, there wasn't a lot of variety that there has been in the past. It was almost like booth after booth of the same things.
Funkos.
So much Funkos, so much Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was like, you could tell, I guess, what's selling the most. That is true. I mean, a lot of times the merchandise is based on who is going to be there because people want to get their action figures signed by the guest. But there was so much Star Wars, and I love Star Wars, but I was like, I was looking for a booth that had a little bit more diversity.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest critique too, is the retail spaces were pretty samey for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of lightsabers.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, but they're all overpriced. Like that's like where they make the highest profit margins at cons. Like they're just like, all right, great. I could sell it. I don't know how much a lightsaber costs. I'm gonna say $100, but they're gonna say 150 at a con. And day 1 and 2, you get to sell full price. Then come Sunday, you're like, oh, we're gonna give you 20% off, and you're still paying over retail. But you're not gonna know that.
They're
right.
They're trying to make back their money for renting that space there, but and then they're gonna make a little money. I think we spent most of our time in the comic area and Artist Alley.
Yeah,
that was that's always the main focus of every con I go to. I want to see the comic creators and spend as much time with them as I can. I just think it's really cool to see them in the flesh, and if you're lucky, watch some of the artists while they're drawing. That's always a treat for me.
Yeah, for me, it's just giving Tom King shit for killing Alfred.
But we did.
Yeah,
we did.
let's start with the day one pick. So we have some visuals to discuss. So day one, after we got past like the retail spots, we ended up going to, of course, Artist Alley. Well, no, we stopped at my booth, the booth I was working at. I introduced you guys to some of the cool peeps. One of the photos I was seeing, it was like there's this guy Monty, and then Riley, who works for Art Germ Collectibles, and then after that we went over to Artist Alley, and I believe one of our first stops was Tom King.
I think so. He already had quite the line. And we were in line. You knew you wanted to have a sketch, and we were talking about what exactly to get, and you were just like, should I have him? What were you saying?
I had no idea. I was just talking about how much I give him shit about killing Alfred.
Yeah,
I think you were like zombie Alfred. And I was like, yep, zombie Alfred.
I mean, if he's gonna bring him back, why not make him a zombie?
Right.
And then we have like there's these pictures where you see him like drawing it, and he was really taking his time with it.
He was.
Like the funny part about that was how focused he was and how much it still sucked.
I think he put in more effort in that than like Jay Lee did with some of our stuff. I mean, he was focused, and he even brought out a reference page to look at Robin or something like that.
All of his lines were like he was like this far away from his pencil.
Yo, when like when you were younger and you really focused on like writing something, and, like, your head's all the way down. Yeah, his head was down for about like, I don't know, I'm gonna say like 12 to 15 minutes, but it's like it still looked like shit. Right? And it's like in a way, it's like, thank you for this, because it's just it's a running joke, his stick figures, what he does, but it's like, and it wasn't bad. It was $50, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like $50 for this shit. But
it's a one of a kind.
He donates the money to a cause, so it's like he figured out a way to like get more money in and then donate, because everyone's always asking for this, and it does take more time, and it's you should get reimbursed for it. But it was great. It was great. I loved it.
He has fun with them.
Yeah, and he's like just laughing and giggling the entire time. Like he's like.
He was chatting it up with everyone. He was having a good time.
That was cool to see. He gives everybody their time, because a lot of people come up and they want to talk about his books and stories, and he spends time with each guest. That's really cool.
Yeah, but he always doesn't look up, right? So the first thing he does, he goes, "Hi, I'm Tom King." Yeah, and it's like, yeah, motherfucker, we all know that's why we're lined up here. But he's such a great guy. Every con. He notices that I just give him like the same two books. It's either The Death of Alfred or Batman 38, which is the story of Wayne Bruce, the kid who decides to have his brother kill his parents because he wants to be just like Bruce Wayne. And he's like, "You're always giving me this dark shit." I'm like, "I know. I'm doing it on purpose because you killed fucking Alfred."
I was giving him grief because he was wearing a Superman hat. I was like, why are you wearing that hat? And he was like, "What hat am I wearing?" He acted like he didn't even know. He's like, "Oh, well." And then, I don't know, maybe this is a spoiler. Maybe not. I don't know. He said he signed on for another Batman book. So he wants to come back and talk to us at a future date about his new Batman stuff. So we'll let him explain. And then we can talk to him more about, he was like, "I can't believe Alfred's still dead."
Yeah. Bring him back, bro. If you're writing a new Batman book, just bring him back.
I told him, you can fix that. You know what to do.
Yeah. You killed them. You started this fucking shit. Might as well bring him back.
Everybody always goes after Alfred.
Yeah. You had Scott chopped off his hand, so he had a nub. Right?
Frank Miller killed him.
Frank Miller
Frank
killed
Miller
him.
killed him.
Sean Murphy gave him cancer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like the first 2 issues. And I was like, what the fuck, man?
Oh,
Leave Alfred alone, guys,
Yeah,
please.
he's the one person that deserves like just happiness and a good life.
Yeah, like he legit serves his family his entire fucking life, and deal with this crazy ass kid who wants to fucking jump around buildings and fight crime, and you get constantly gonna kill him. Like, poor guy. Like, at least let him go on vacation and come back or something. But
Right.
justice for Alfred, bring him back. I think. What did we do after that? I think after that we walked through Artist Alley, and then we saw, was it Tyler?
We went to Travis Langley pretty shortly after.
Oh yeah, there we go. We went to Travis for a bit, and
Dr. Langley.
Speaking of which,
yeah.
Yes,
there it is.
Batman and Psychology.
I got to get that started. That's going to be like a month for my reading because I don't read much, and then
Volume 2.
So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I think you'll really like it. I mean, I read that book. It's been years ago. I read it on. Well, it wasn't. I guess it was my honeymoon vacation, but because we didn't go when I got married, we didn't go on a honeymoon right then. We waited a year.
Okay.
And then we went to Cancun, and so I had to have something to read in the airport, on the flight. You know, when you're laying out on the at the swimming pool and stuff like that. And I remember reading this book, and I need to read it again, but it changed the way that I read comics. It really did. It's kind of like when you read, let's say, Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns for the first time. And when you're used to reading, the comics and all this stuff, and then you read that, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
This really
changes everything.
It gives you a step back because, I mean, he's a doctor in psychology. He's a professor. I think he teaches at Henderson State University. But he loves comics, loves superheroes, and he writes about them. And to have that real world experience talking about these fictional characters and also some of the creation process, you're like, wow, these characters, it's no wonder people love these characters so much because DC has actually made them complicated.
Yeah.
And relatable. That's the thing. Batman probably has some of the most relatable rogues in, comics. They each represent one aspect of society that's kind of gone off the deep end a little bit. One minor thing can set off a whole thing in motion. And so, yeah, it's a great book. I recommend it. We're going to have Dr. Langley on hopefully in a future episode.
Yeah, he mentioned jumping in with us, and I got to make sure I read this book before we do because when you mentioned it, I was just like, I've seen the cover, but sometimes you're on Instagram and you're like, whatever, I liked it, continue next, whatever. And when you went into detail on what the book is about, I was like, I need both copies.
Yeah.
It's like, I need both copies now and sign them. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, it kind of gives you a little peek inside Bruce Wayne's head a little bit. It's kind of like putting him on the couch in the therapy session and listening in. So
and then you also found the Daredevil version of of a similar book.
Right. So now I'm gonna have to read that.
I was like, I'm just gonna check it out.
Dr. Langley was super nice. He, sometimes you have people that don't want to talk too much at their booth. They just want you to buy the thing and keep going,
Yeah.
And he was super friendly. And we stood at his table for probably 20 minutes?
Yeah, about 25 minutes
at least.
Yeah.
It was easy to chat with him. And
right.
It was his son that was working with him, right?
Yeah. Right. I think his son's an author as well.
Yeah, and his son, he turned around to his son and was like, give him this card. I don't give anyone this card. And he was like, that means I really like you. And it was just like, it was so genuine the way he just said that. And I was like, I was excited for us because I was like, oh, cool, can't wait, to get him on. And I'm like, now I got to read this book because we're gonna have really some deep conversations about Batman and his writing.
Yeah, I think I need to read it too now.
But so then after that, we went to Tyler.
We did concession stands, and then
the concession stands.
Yeah, the utility belt was the highlight, right?
Yeah, I ran over back to the booth to make sure everyone was okay, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys need anything?" And my buddy Jason's wife was like, "Coffee," and I was like, "Ain't nobody getting no coffee right now. It's hot. Like, yo, everyone needs water." And I didn't even count. So, and then the one girl that you guys met, Riley, she was like, maybe some fries, and like everyone was like reaching into their pockets. I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with this. Don't worry about it, guys. And I just ran off. And then that's when I grabbed the 6 bottles of water, and I used my utility belt to hold the waters.
See, I was making fun of you because you had this Batman fanny pack, and I was like, okay, no one wears a fanny pack. But then now I realized the genius of the fanny pack at a convention. Yeah. Because, it holds everything. I was getting tired of having to take my backpack off, put my wallet in there, put it back on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, fanny packs are it, man.
Yeah. And I was wearing some like jogger shorts or something, just basketball shorts. They don't really have the security, to put your wallet and your phone and your keys in, stuff like that. I just wanted to be comfortable because it was so hot.
Yeah.
But that's why I had my backpack. But I'm so used to having my keys and my wallet and my phone where I know it is and where it's what's the word? Accessible. Accessible.
Accessible.
I was about to say successible. Accessible.
That's a different series.
Right. But the fanny pack, you got it all right there. And
Yeah. Well, if you notice, I also wear cargo shorts because I want the zipper, the strap, and all my shit to be secure. Because like in a con, you don't know, man. You could be, shit could fly out if your pockets aren't secure. And the fanny pack, I feel it because it's right in front of me. And just if you don't see me with the fanny pack, I fucked up.
Yeah,
it's a great fanny pack too.
It
is like sections. It's not just one big.
I wanna thank Teases for that fanny pack. We used to work at this company, and he was like, "Yo, you want this fanny pack?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" And since then, that's been my Comic Con fanny pack.
It really is like a utility belt, and it even has a Batman logo on it. Now I want one.
Normally, at New York Comic Con, I was standing in line for Todd McFarlane, and Teases comes over and hands me a beer one day, and I was like, "I'm gonna just keep this right here." And I was like, "This fucking fanny pack is awesome."
It's like the perfect size for that too. Like it probably slips right in, right?
Right in. It doesn't go anywhere. I was like jiggling and stuff, and I had to wait a while because I don't want the beer to burst. But it was if I could find another one, I'm gonna wear 2 next time and just have on the side. Then we finally went, and that line wasn't that long to begin with. It actually went pretty quickly.
Well, okay, circle back. We tried to go to him earlier in the day, and the line was like a 30-minute wait.
Aisle. Yeah, that wasn't happening.
And I was like, no, we got, that first day is only going from 4 to 8. And we were trying to do a heavy load of our, our goals, who to meet and who to see in that first 1 to 2 days, especially that first day, because, Saturday was always going to be the heaviest day. So if you can knock out your core directives in the first day, that's ideal. So we weren't going to wait in that line. So we passed him up and went to the concession. But then it was good when we came back because, we stepped in,
right in
5-minute wait. Right.
Yeah, it was perfect. And it was cool, I guess, meeting him I met him for the second time.
Yeah.
But it was nice and quick, and he had some really cool variants there.
Yeah, he had that black and white #1 variant. Like he had 2 variants of the black and white, and I got both versions. It was like one of them was a white cover, and the second one was a black cover. Same image, same drawing of Batman, but it was just reverse images of each other. It was really cool.
Yeah, he's highly talented. Looking at his variants and all the things he had. I had that Liz Wonder variant at that moment, and I brought it over and I told him about it, and he was just like, "Wait, is she here?" And I was like, "Nah, I tried so hard to bring her over, but I'm like, she has a family and stuff."
Here's that black and white.
Nice.
And then there's a black version of it as well. He also had this.
Oh yeah,
the homage to McFarlane.
Dude, I have 5 of those being held at my comic shop. That's why I was like, I couldn't buy it. It sucks because I could have got it signed right there, but
what's the 6th?
Yeah, it's a 6th signed, right? Like, damn it. But yeah, those are pretty great pickups. And a little bit after that, I think you guys had a little commission kick.
Yeah, we headed over to Jay Lee.
Yeah,
right after that,
and the number 1 salesman got you.
Man, yeah, and I knew it. I knew what he was doing, but I didn't care.
Like Jay Lee, that's about his fourth time that I've seen him at a Dallas show.
Okay. Cool.
And every time I've gone to his booth every time and just drooled over the artwork he was doing on commissions. And I've bought almost every print that he sells. He didn't have any new prints this year, so I didn't buy any prints. But I watched him one time. Yeah. I watched him one time. He was drawing something, and like his pencils are very, very, very loose.
Yeah.
And he's got his system down pat for doing these convention commissions really quick. And he was doing something. I was like, what in the world? I had no idea. And then he brings out his ink pen, and it's all is it India ink?
Yeah, I think it's India ink, and he just dips a brush in it. Yeah,
dips a brush, and he's just, it's like he's like carving it up and just, I'm like, what in the world? And then he flips it upside down. He drew a Black Panther like upside down. And when you turn it upside down, I was like, oh, whoa. That was several years ago. Yeah.
He's so talented. He really is.
That time that he was last in Dallas is when I got this right here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah. Which is just like, and yet, like, I already had this, and I was like, I need more from him.
Yeah. His stuff is so addictive. And so
where's I was ready for the Robocop.
Oh yeah, the Robocop's right here. I haven't framed it yet.
So this year amazing. Levi was on a mission to get Robocop.
Yeah.
That's legit.
It was just a matter of what size and how much we were willing to pay.
Yeah, we won't talk about the prices.
We never do. There was a discount.
Right.
But then Levi kind of nudged me because first he was like, should I get it? And I was like, I'm not going to say no to you. Yeah, you should get it. So I talked him into it, and then I was talking with him, and I was like, feeling that itch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta scratch it.
I specifically went up to both of you and I said, I need you both to talk me out of this.
Nope.
And you just, both of you were just like, you're talking to the wrong people.
Yeah. We're here to, I think my exact words were, we're here to spend money.
Yeah. The problem is you said that so loud that the salesman heard it.
Yeah. But you know what? I appreciate, whatever art manager, whatever his title is. I appreciate him being there because it helped Jay just be able to do his thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was fun to watch it. I mean, like I would stop by his booth and just like kind of stand on the other side of the aisle and watch him draw.
Yeah, and it's good to have a handler like that because exactly what you said. It gives the artist the time to finish the commissions and, you know, whatever they promise to the clients. And then you had the handler just do all the talking and stuff because it just helps them make more money at the end of the day, right? Like, here, focus on this. You know, a commission is going to take, you know, 2 hours, whatever it is. And if we have 9 hours today, you might have to do another hour later on today to do 5 today. And, you know, with those 5, we're going to make $4,000. And it's like, all right, cool. Like, we need you to focus on that. I'll do all the talking and the selling and the representation. So a lot of artists should gear towards that. But then I feel that come pickup day, come Sunday, right? Or whenever it's time to pick up your commission, that's the perfect time to have the conversation with the artist because now it's like, hey, I paid you. You owe me this conversation, right? So something like that.
It is cool to have a conversation with these artists because, one, it feels a little bit more personable, but you get to know them a little better. And I've bought art from people that I really didn't like their art, but I like them as a person. And we kind of got along well. And so now that piece of art that I bought means something because I remember the conversation with the artist more than I remember the piece of art. With Jay, it's kind of cool because I had never really had a real conversation with him, but after Levi warmed up him and his salesman with the
Benjis,
with that commission, I was like feeling that itch, and I was like, well, I want to do something. If I'm going to do this, I want something that is not like common, right? Everyone does the superheroes. I thought Levi's idea was really cool because I haven't seen him do Robocop before.
Yeah, and I don't think I have either. And his style is so fluid and expressive that I thought it would be interesting because Robocop is a very rigid character, and he delivered on both, you know?
Right. He kind of reimagined him in a way.
Yeah.
Part of his torso.
Yeah, the chest is slightly different. Like he's more streamlined, I guess is the best way to put it.
But you know, by looking at it, you're like, that's Robocop.
Yeah, it's still very much Robocop, which is awesome. Like I love reimaginings that look like the Thing, but they're in their own style. For example, you know that Master Chief I have from Thousand Toys, which was redesigned by Japanese like mech artist or something. And so in the same way, they like streamlined him and made him more like limber, but still looks like Master Chief. So same thing here.
Nice.
So I wanted something that he doesn't draw every day. And the only thing that I could think of was, and this was kind of a theme that I thought about. If I'm going to do commissions from some of these artists, wouldn't it be cool if I had some of my dog Louie? So I showed him Louie in his Batman suit that I dress him up in every now and then. And he loved it because he's a dog guy. And he was like, it started a conversation with him because then he brought out his phone and was showing me his dogs. And he was, you know, we were kind of having a moment there. And so he liked the idea and he agreed to do it. And I'm very appreciative because he did an amazing job. It's very fun and one of a kind.
You gonna hang it up?
Yeah, I got to get it framed. I still have it in its protective sleeve right now.
Nice. It looks like Louis too.
Yeah, he's like, I'll put it in the video.
Yeah, it came out great. When you guys were still focused there, I went over to Tone Rodriguez who,
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I think he's a huge sleeper when it comes to commissions or like it's just his art. I went over to say hello because he completed my Stray Dogs Sophie cover that
Mhm.
Trish and Tony also worked on, and he did it so quickly, and he was just like $20. And I was like, "What? Okay." And I was like, I need to get something from him. I didn't know what. Uh, and I bought this Catwoman blank, and I was like, you know what? I've been going to every con, and someone's been drawing me a Catwoman every con, right? And I was like, if you could draw a Catwoman here, and we were discussing back and forth like what I'm looking for, and I was like, you're the artist, man. Like you're way better at this envisioning things than I am. The cover is this black and white, kind of looks like a spotlight.
Oh, that's
And
cool. Yeah.
and I was like, and if you look at the O here on top, there's like a diamond. And I was like, it'd be pretty neat if we could have like a Catwoman, like full body, like with a diamond in her hand. I'm like, I want something like that. And for whatever reason, we've seen numerous variations throughout the years of Catwoman holding a diamond, and I was just like, make her golden age,
Yeah.
and like that just made the most sense. And I don't have the picture here because I'm definitely getting that CGC. The way it came out, it was gorgeous, and I think he's just such an underrated artist.
You're exactly right. And that was the second time I met him. The first time I met him was pre-pandemic, but I think that he did the Stray Dogs book. I think we'll be seeing his name a lot more in the future. It's kind of cool to see some of these guys, and he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
But in the comic industry, I guess it's all about paying your dues, and then once you get an opportunity, swing for the fences. Yeah, and I think that he's a name that we're kind of seeing him right now when he's at that point where he's about to
peak.
Go.
He's right there.
He's about to go up.
Yeah,
and he's such a cool guy, very personable.
It's crazy because I think I have prints from him from like it's got to be like 2014 or something, like a long time ago.
Yeah,
he's an OG now. But
he's very interesting because he does homages to like Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns, and Daredevil, and Neil Adams, and other iconic artists. He does like his own recreations of their pages.
Yeah.
Because he was like, well, I know I'll never be able to get to afford them, but I want them. So I just redraw them.
Yeah.
And they are amazing.
They're amazing. It's amazing how good it was. Like when you mentioned, well, it's funny, you mentioned the commission you got several years ago, and he's just like lit up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he whips out his portfolio, and he's like, "Was it this one?" And
check these out, and it's like, oh my god,
yeah.
Yeah, we got a picture or a couple pictures of him just like with his portfolio, smiling and showing you different things. And he's just pulling one thing out of another.
He was so happy doing that too. It was just like,
yeah,
it was like, oh crap, like people know I draw, right? Like,
yeah,
here's these guys that actually know I'm really good at this. And then he had like the Daredevil cover, which was amazing.
Yeah.
He had several covers that he did homages to, where he didn't mean it in any sense, but like he did his own twist to make him look better in his vision,
right?
And I was all about it. I was like, wow,
yeah,
yeah. He's not straight up copying. He's doing it in his style and changing things that he would prefer to change, and it's really interesting.
Yeah. and it was great. That was pretty much the end of day one. We were at his table probably for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It was just like, what else you got? Like, coach, look at this. And
I know.
it was great. It was great. It was great to just, I think at that moment, it was just like, again, like there's moments like that where we go to these cons and we go there for the artists and creators, right? And as fans, they're like on this like pedestal, and we go to meet them. And then moments like that, it's like, no, we're the same. Like we're just geeking out, enjoying art. We're enjoying comics. We're enjoying each other's company, nerding out about things like this. And it was like, it was great just chatting with him, like, and discussing, like, he was saying, I chat with people and then they don't tell me anything. And then it was like, what? And then it was just like, yeah, you guys said podcast. Oh, okay. Now we got something to talk about. And then it was just like, he just went at it. And I'm like, wow, what a great person to like have a conversation with. And it just went everywhere about just different artists, different covers, things he worked on.
Yeah.
Podcasting, Stray Dogs a little bit. It was very personable.
I had no idea he did the the comic for In the Office that, quote unquote Pam drew. Yeah, the Adventures of Jimmy Halpert. So In the Office at some point Pam like makes a comic of Jim and he drew it. So that was amazing to me because I knew him and I knew that, but I never made the connection. So I thought that was pretty cool. And just to bounce off of what you were saying is that was the biggest differentiator this year for me. Like I said, I've taken a long break of cons for a while, and with everything else going on, like a lot of people have. Yeah. And I feel like everyone at this one like wanted to chat with people, wanted to like just hang out with people that are like-minded, and I thought that was a really cool thing, and it was really fun.
Yeah, and that was just day one, right?
Yeah,
that was day one. I got home and I felt like I ran a marathon.
Day two, and
man, day two, I got up and like every bone in my back and legs just popped and cracked. I was like, "Oh, Levi's gonna be here in 45. It's gonna be a long day." Feet were already hurting. I was like, "Ooh."
Shoulders sore from the backpack.
Now, I will say this. My Hex brand backpack held up. My shoulders were not sore at all, but if you use the JanSport, where it puts all that load on your lower back, you're hurting.
Yeah, I was struggling. I don't have a backpack specifically made for Comic-Con. So y'all were carrying those around, and
that was my first con using that, and I was like very happy.
Yeah, it's a solid backpack. I've used mine enough, and I make sure I use it at every con. It's like it just has enough pockets for everything, and it sits high enough on your back where it kind of rests right above your butt.
Yeah.
Unlike every other backpack is like past that and it just drags you down.
Right.
Well, it also has those panels that offer support, so the books aren't going and sinking down and stuff. I mean, it holds them tight and it holds them up against your back. So
then you also have the strap. If you put the strap around your chest, then you're solid. But it's like you're ready to jump out of a plane or something. But the beginning of day two for me, I was there at 8:30 when my exhibitor passed. I woke up. Wait, hold on. So the story was I woke up at 5, and I was shit. Breakfast is at 6, right? And I'm like, oh. So 6 o'clock, I'm downstairs, and I'm like, nothing's open. And I'm like, hey, what time is breakfast open? The lady's like, oh, Monday through Thursday they open from 6 to 10, but on Friday and Saturdays they open from 7 to 10. And I'm like, yo, this sucks. Back upstairs I go, and I was like, all right, cool. Let me just prepare. And I had my 3 store folios ready, and went downstairs, ate breakfast, had 2 cups of coffee, and I just started walking at 8:15. I was like, all right, let's go to the con. And by 8:30, I was sitting by the booth for Capture Collectibles. But I feel like we got so much done on Friday. Like it didn't seem like much, but so much got done. Where I just walked by and I was like, all right, I know Tone has a sketchbook. My sketch working on. I did the thing with Tom King already, and I walked around to like different booths and just like bought some random books, just get more signatures. But like I was pretty much done Saturday, really, because it's not like I went there to get signatures from like half the con. I just pretty much focused on like 4 people. The only books I had left was I still had more books for Tyler, and Matina. I think someone messaged me, hey, can you get me this book signed by Matina? I was like, sure, no problem. And I did that. But besides that, I was just I did a lot of goofing around, just walking around and working because I had to work. How about you guys?
Well, I got to Gramps' at 9, and we got donuts.
Yeah.
So we were, loading up on donuts and pigs in the blanket on the way in.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar and carbs.
Enough to hold you over for what, like the 10 hours that we were there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we got there, and I think pretty much immediately we went to the Brendan Fraser panel, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So we sat through his panel, and he's a sweet guy. His reputation precedes him. Like he's everything that you expect.
Right.
And
I'm so happy for him.
Yeah. Like no one is mad about him getting a big comeback. And
they always say nice guys finish last. You know what? It's cool to see. No, he's a nice guy, and he is still in the game. I mean, he's still loved. He's still a big enough name that he gets key roles. He's going to be in the Batgirl movie?
Yeah.
He's going to be Firefly?
He's going to be Firefly and the Batgirl. He's in a Scorsese movie and an Aronofsky movie. So
talking about a comeback.
Yeah.
I'm back, man. Like I was with a group of cosplayers at MegaCon, and they all were so excited to see him. And I was just like, cool. I'm like, crap, I didn't get a ticket. Like, damn it. Like I don't do the celebrity thing. I forget. But I'm fortunate enough that when it comes to me witnessing signatures, I do see some celebrities. But
right.
So that helps. But I'm not taking pictures with them or anything. But with him in particular, I'm very happy to hear all the positivity towards him coming back.
Yeah, and he was only there on Saturday, so he was pretty booked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Good for him.
And the crowd, just loved him, and it was really cool. And so that was the first thing that we did. I think Saturday we focused more on finding cosplayers for photos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we just kind of shopped around in the retail areas. And, if you were focusing on something, I was just trying to hang by you, and I would stop anybody that grabbed my attention with a good costume. Saw a great Zatanna that was like 6'5". We saw Moon Knight.
Mister.
Lots of Moon Knight. There was
Okay,
that was one thing I wanted to talk about. Like this year, you could tell that there were Jedis everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it must be like the Star Wars had a sale on Jedi clothes, because there were thousands of Jedis. Obviously, because the Obi-Wan show just recently came out. Lots of Mandalorian.
I saw a few, characters from the Batman, whether it was
the Batman,
Riddler. I saw one great Selena Kyle, but I wasn't able to grab a picture of her. She was too far away.
Yeah, there was a lot of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
A lot of Witchers, if you're into Witchers.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
A ton of Witchers, which was surprising to me. I mean, I love the show and I love the games, but I wasn't expecting that. But they were all different. Like there was some from different games and there was some from the show.
Right.
But they were all solid. They're all really well made.
Did you guys see the one, the Sailor Moon Knight?
No.
So I'm pretty sure I know the cosplayer, but she was also a MegaCon, and it's just like the Moon Knight face, but it has like the two balls up top, and it's like still kind of like wrapped up, and like the hair coming down, and it's still the same material as like the covered face, but like with the skirt and shit. And I was like, oh my God, Sailor Moon Knight. And at MegaCon, everyone's like, oh my God, that's right, Sailor Moon Knight. And I saw her again, but I was caught up in something. And I was just like, like in the movies when you see someone in slow motion, it's like, oh. And I was like, oh, I got to go this way though. Sorry. And I saw her and I was just like, damn it, I wanted to say hello. But yeah, that's one of the most creative ones I've seen.
I love the mashups. I like seeing the creative. There's the costumes that you see 50 of, and then there's the really like cool ones that you're like, I've only seen this once.
Yeah.
What was the one, like the Luigi Ghostbuster?
There was a couple Luigi Ghostbusters, which was surprising. Like, that's so specific. Like, I wasn't expecting to see more than one.
That's pretty random.
The Black Manta guy,
yes,
was awesome. He had like a light up helmet. He made his whole costume.
The Constantine was cool.
Constantine was really good.
And you guys took a picture of my buddy who was Penguin.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember we saw him again when we were walking outside, and I was like, wait a minute, Robert. Not Ruben. And you guys were like, how the hell do you know him?
No, this is what was so funny is that Dunk comes to Dallas and he knows more people here than I do.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
probably more than both of us combined.
Right.
It's just the con circuit. That's it. It's just the people that you see at cons, or like, that Penguin, Ruben, I met him at C2E2 December last year, and you don't see a lot of those penguins, right?
No.
I think I've seen probably 3 ever. And when we stared at each other as I walked by, I was like, wait a minute, I know you. And I said what's up to him, and I was messaging him after the fact, so I was trying to meet up with him again to get a picture together, but it's difficult at cons. But yeah, that's how that happened. Well, everyone else, they're all like vendors that I see all the time, or it's people I'm seeing. But that was pretty funny.
There was even a lot of costumes that I had no idea what they were, but they were just cool.
Right.
I was a fan of the Scarecrow.
Scarecrow was awesome with can't remember the Batman's Instagram handle, but
Saddle Up.
Saddle Up. That trio, the Scarecrow, Batman, and Catwoman were fantastic looking.
Yeah, I ran into the Scarecrow in the celebrity section, and I was like, yo, let me take a picture with you. But it was funny because he was like, I don't have to go down that low. And I was like, for the first time ever in my life, I heard that. And I chatted with him for a bit. It was pretty fun.
I was wondering how he gets that costume inside the convention. I mean,
unless he put on the stilts when he came in and like rolled the pants down.
Surely he just has like, I don't know. I saw one guy one year that had a full Godzilla costume, and he and his wife wheeled that thing in like crates on wheels. I wonder if he has to do that.
People go all in, man. It's awesome. Like,
I can't imagine those costumes where it's like that much maintenance.
No, the Warhammer.
Yeah,
robot.
The Space Marine, I think is what they're called, from Warhammer.
That thing was massive.
Huge.
Massive.
And that was one of those costumes where like you have to have an engineering degree to like make it, because he had like moving parts.
Yes.
His helmet was wired up to some kind of like suit speaker system, so it was modulating his voice to sound like a space marine, and like you and I both don't really know much about Warhammer, but we both knew like that was awesome.
Yeah. Oh. And you know, like someone who wears a costume like that, that's all they're going to do all day is pose for photos.
Yeah, you can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's intense, and Saturdays always tends to be like the big day for cosplay. They all bring their A-list costumes or cosplays, and it's a fun event on Saturdays for that reason. Just because they, a lot of them meet for the first time, a lot of them just come out and and finally showcase whatever they've been working on for months, maybe weeks. Some of them finish that stuff last minute or travel for whatever. It's a cool ass thing. I saw. I was just going through the pictures now. You also had like Doug Funny.
Oh yeah, Quail Man.
Yeah, Quail Man. There we go.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like Blast from the Past. Like,
I love seeing Quail Man. It's like
Yeah.
it just makes me happy. Like, yeah, I remember. And Quail Dog.
Man, yeah,
But,
that costume made me very happy.
and it's so simple, right? It's just like
Yeah.
the khaki shorts, the green vest, white thing. Put your underpants over your khaki shorts, and put a belt on your head, and then what is it, the towel, right?
Yeah. You didn't have
like-
the underpants though.
Gotta have the underpants. Underpants are key.
Yeah.
And then from those photos, I also saw that you took a couple of pictures of Jay Lee.
Yeah, I stopped by his booth again just to take some pictures of him, working on commissions and stuff, just because, again, like I said, I just liked watching him do his thing because he's so expressive. It's fun to watch.
I was doing that at Francisco Matina. He was doing some markups, but then he was also working on
The Spawn.
a Spawn. I don't know if that was a commission,
Yeah,
but man,
that was amazing.
that was sick.
I was doing the same thing. I was walking by, and at one point I was trying to get something signed from him, and I see him working on the chains,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, "All right, to anyone says he traces or whatever, like, yeah, you have to watch this guy work, man."
Yeah.
And I probably did the same thing you did, Gramps. I hovered over that table for a minute just to watch him and just admire the strokes of everything he was doing. Like,
Yeah, it's really cool because, I've always thought that these artists, they see the world a little different than we do. At the elite level, it's kind of like the elite athletes. They're just made different, and watching him add little details and rendering to add shadow but they can make it where it just pops and looks three-dimensional, and wow, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was good watching him. I guess my highlight, and we'll go about this. What was your highlights on Saturday? Like the biggest thing that popped up for you? I got mine, and
Well, I don't know. Saturday was really busy. Saturday was my birthday, so the highlight for me was
you were born several years ago.
Yeah. The whoopie pies that we had at my house before we left. But I don't know. I thought it was really cool meeting Matina because he's a hard guest to meet in person. I think he's from Italy. So that was really interesting to get my book signed by him. That's not a name you're going to see at a convention, especially in Dallas, a lot. So that was really interesting for me.
Nice. How about you, Levi?
I think probably the Brendan Fraser panel was the big highlight of Saturday, because most of the day I was just walking around, basically people watching and looking at retail stuff. Which that's one of my favorite things to do at Comic-Con is just watch people walk by and interact and take pictures of costumes and that kind of thing. But the Brendan Fraser panel is just cool because, you know, he's been a guy that I've been watching him on, you know, TV movies for my whole life. And he pretty much lived up to it. Even though I didn't get to meet him, he was very funny, and he seemed like a good guy. So that's probably it
awesome
for me.
My highlight for Saturday was, again, I'm a witness for CGC, and someone came up with an issue because Jim Lee was there Saturday, and it was the only day he was there. And I don't know what was going on. They were talking to one of my teammates, and they were like, "Hey, Dave, you mind going down and, you know, see if you could take care of this?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" Like, it's Jim Lee. Fuck yeah, I'm going downstairs. And typically, when it comes to like getting books graded, I get worried about other people walking with their books, right? So you'll see me like grab someone's book and I'm holding it up here, so it doesn't run into anyone, right? You want that 9.8 when it gets graded. So this guy's like chasing me as I'm running downstairs to go with his book to get it signed by Jim Lee, and whatever. I see this massive line, and I'm like, "Yo, don't tell me I'm standing in this line." But he was like, "No, they told me to go to the front," and we go to the front. We go in with no problem, and I still to this day don't know what the hell the issue was. I think he just needed a witness to be there, and he didn't plan beforehand. So his thought process was to be a witness being there, and then he could bring it over to us and get it graded. But yeah, for that second, like, we're not supposed to interact. We can, but we're not supposed to interact with the artist. It's, you know, our commitments to the client that wants to get their signature, and us making sure we witness them. But Jim Lee was like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And I was just like, "This is my first time. This is my first time meeting him." Like, shit. I'm like, "It's going well, sir. You staying cool?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm doing my best." And he's like, "Oh, you don't have anything for me to sign?" And I was just like, "Nah, man, I don't." I'm like, "I'm here witnessing for my buddy here." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Do you have anything on you?" And I was like, "No, damn it." But that was the minor interaction. And then later on at the end of the day, I actually met him officially and shook his hand. I had a quick conversation. I still don't have anything to sign, but I was just happy to have that moment and finally meet Jim Lee in person.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That was the grill on my Saturday, I guess.
I don't normally do 3 days of cons. I'm usually 2 at the max. So that drive home, I'm like, I got one more day. My feet are screaming at me. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I even going to be able to do this Sunday? I don't know. But we had to, because
commission.
Well, our commission was going to be ready by Sunday, but also our friend Kevin Porter was going to be doing a panel on Sunday, and I wasn't going to miss that. So yeah, Sunday was really 2 goals: see Kevin and get the commission.
Yeah.
And hopefully the commission before 5 o'clock. I didn't want to be there all day.
Nope.
So Sunday, Levi and I got more donuts. More donuts. And I was going to bring some of those, like, instead of a birthday cake, my wife got me what's called a whoopie pie. And I mean, like, there was like a dozen of them, and I don't know what they're made of. Some kind of
pure sugar.
Sugar, dude. It's like diabetes.
It's like a cake top with some kind of cream filling with another cake top on the bottom. And I mean, these were strawberry, and then they had a glazed strawberry on top of that, and it was just like, and I was like, I gotta get my boy Dunk some of these whoopie pies. And I thought, well, Kevin Kevin's going to want some too. So I packed him in some Tupperware. And I was like, first thing, we were trying to find you and get coordinated. I knew you were going to be there at like the crack of dawn.
Yep, 8:30.
30. And I was like, well, we gotta find Dunk first. That's the first thing we gotta find. And then we'll also, this place is so big. We kind of had to scout out before the panel where the panel is actually going to be, because this place is so big, you don't want to be lost and not know where something is at. So really, I mean, as soon as Levi and I got there, our focus was finding Dave and then finding where we're supposed to be for the 12:30 panel. We didn't get there till, I don't know what, 10 maybe? 10:30?
Yeah, it was a little later than we typically had been getting there.
By this time, Dave's already put in 5 miles.
That's about.
And so it was really, I mean, the only thing that we did was when we got there, we scouted out where we're supposed to be for the panel. And what else did we do? I guess you didn't meet us until you went to the panel.
Yeah, because I was I was submitting my books to CGC through via Capture Collectibles, and I think I submitted about 30-something books.
Wow.
Then I met a vendor who was telling me, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna have buy one get one free," and I was like, "Bro, I gotta go see you." That's where I got the Catwoman blank. I bought a few of these.
Oh, okay.
For the future, because they had, you buy 2 and get 1 free at first. You picked up. I think you picked something up there. And then Sunday they were like buy 1 get 1, and I was like, hell yeah! So I think I bought like 4 books there. Then I ran to Matina to get another signature. Then I went to Tyler to get one last signature because I bought a Miles Morales variant to him to sign. Then I submitted all my books, and then I was like, where the hell's the panel? And as I'm running around right before it starts, I walk in like right a minute before it starts and tried some whoopee.
Yeah. So the panel that Kevin Porter was doing was for his newest TV series on Redeem TV called The Watchers. And it was Kevin and the writer, director, Aaron Greer, that were promoting this panel. And Kevin plays the Archangel Michael, who is asked to return to Earth to protect some people that are in this spiritual battle against Satan. And that's the premise of the show.
After the panel, we had an opportunity to hang out with Kevin Porter for a bit. In a few minutes, you guys will see that footage of Grandpa whipping out an interview out of nowhere with his whoopies, talking to Kevin Porter and mentioning the show The Watchers. I don't know. Personally, I think if you watch the trailer, and after talking to Aaron Greer, you get a little bit of a supernatural feel, a little bit of Lucifer. And what was the book that you mentioned, Gramps?
There was this book that I read called This Present Darkness. And it was about like spiritual warfare where, demons, the sins would basically take a demonic manifestation and like attach themselves to a human. Normal human people couldn't see it, but the angels that would come down to fight could see it. And the stronger the grip on the person, kind of directed them in how they acted and stuff like that. And when we were listening to the panel, I was thinking about that book, and sure enough, Aaron mentioned that, that was an influence on him. So I've only seen one episode of the show so far, and it was that pilot episode that they mentioned where Kevin said that he was trying to find
his character,
find the lane for Archangel Michael's being.
Yeah,
but I'm looking forward to seeing some of the other episodes as well.
Yeah, definitely. I watched one tonight. I'm looking forward to that. But we've been on for a while, and I want to thank you guys for accepting my invitation to go to Dallas. Although I'm like, you guys live there. I'm like, hey guys, I got some free passes. You want to come with me? Yeah, I think I had a great time. Grant Levi, again, thank you for coming through. As far as I see, it looks like you guys had a good time.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
we I think Levi, you mentioned we had a brief conversation about like how it felt more like a community this time around.
Yeah.
Now you got a little bit of an itch and you're ready to go to your next con.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've had so long of a break. Now I'm like, man, that was so fun. I'm like on a con high now, so yeah. I'm gonna have to scratch that at some point.
Let's go to Vegas. You can scratch a lot of things over there.
Or get scratched.
Or get scratched and pay for it. Grams, I hope you had a great birthday weekend. It was great to hang out and actually get some BBQ with you there.
Yeah.
Man, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you for setting this all up. That was an amazing experience.
Yeah, we'll do it again next year.
We'll do it again.
Next time we'll all get barbecue together.
Hell yeah! And for everyone currently watching, I always say some corny messages before I close out, right? And I think get ready to start going to cons again. If you really want to go to a con, I suggest you find your crew. Like find a crew to go do your con with. You go alone, it's great and all, but when you have a team of people, it just makes it more fun. And everyone does their own thing. Everyone separates, and then you come back and you share your stories. And like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. And moments like that, make these Comic Cons more enjoyable. And don't be scared to say hi to people, talk to artists, get a picture with a cosplayer, and make deals with these vendors. They want to sell their stuff. So
yeah,
go get a deal. And we're gonna leave you guys off with the best interview with Kevin Porter you can find on YouTube right now. Thanks again, guys. You guys have a good one. Take care.
Hello, this is Grandpa Batman. We are live at Dallas Fan Expo 2022, and with me is joining the People's Batman, Kevin Porter. How you doing, Kevin?
I like the People's Batman. It's like the People's Champ. I'm doing good, thank you. Love Dallas.
I'm so excited that you actually came here. When I saw on your Instagram feed that you were coming here, I was like, yes, I get to see my friend again. And I'm so glad to see you again. It's been quite some time.
It's been about 5 years since I've seen you. And it was in Los Angeles, and it was at Ernie's Taco House in North Hollywood on Lankershim.
I still think back to that day because I was like, man, those were some great tacos.
They were great tacos. I think I had enchiladas, but yeah, I saw your tacos. And they were great.
Have you had a chance to have any of the barbecue here in Dallas yet?
I'm a big fan of Dallas, a big fan of barbecue. I did have some barbecue, but I don't think that it's indicative of the best that Dallas had to offer because it was a convention barbecue sandwich, and it didn't really count.
No. We got to go to like a real place after this if you have time. But you did have some of our local whoopie pie, right?
Love the whoopie pie. I like to call them Popeye hamburgers. They look like hamburgers that, can you please... it looks like a hamburger that Wimpy would eat from Popeye. This right here, it looks great. I gladly pay you Tuesdays for hamburgers today's. Yes. That's what that looks like. Doesn't it a little bit? Can I eat this?
Yeah, it's yours.
It's gone.
So, yeah, those are called whoopie pies. I got them for my birthday. My wife got those for my birthday, and I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you for sharing.
I know you're on a diet now.
Yes, always. Get back in the soup, which we will touch on that.
I was like,
but this right here, you may call it a whooping pie. You know what I call it? Friendship.
Friendship, love.
Friendship and love.
That's right. So, we are here to promote your new movie coming out. Actually, it's a TV series. Yes.
Called The Watchers.
The Watchers. And it's going to be on Redeem TV, written and directed by Aaron Greer.
Yes.
8 episodes.
It is a faith-based action, adventure, suspense series. I play the Archangel Michael. and it is truly one of the projects I've done in my career that I'm most proud of.
What I thought was interesting was kind of the flip of the twist of the premise of faith, because so much faith-based TV and shows, it's more about humanity restoring their faith in God. In this, it's actually the angel restoring the faith in humanity.
That's what I love most about the character. It was written that way by Aaron Greer, and this character by the name of Michael, and he's the archangel, and he hasn't been to Earth since 9/11, and 9/11 hurt him so deeply. Basically, what humanity, and he says what humanity is capable of. So he fled. He said, "I'm done,"
Right.
And he's been called back down to Earth. And he's here to save humanity, but humanity is there to save him and his faith. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah, Aaron and I were talking about, maybe one of the influences that inspired his writing was some books called This Present Darkness. And I remember reading those so back years ago, thinking, oh, this would be such a great film project. Because in those books, it was like the sins actually took a physical form and attached itself to the back of the humans.
Oh.
And only the angels could really see it. And I was like, man, if someone
like barnacles.
Yes. And the stronger that, the person gave in to whatever sin, the stronger and the tighter they gripped. And I was like, I would love to see a movie like that someday.
Yeah.
So when I found out about this project, I was like, wow, that really reminds me of that, and it really speaks to me. I'm really interested in this. So right now we have 8 episodes filmed?
8 episodes for season 1. Season 2 is in the works. It's been written and looking to be produced. So we're in pre-production on season 2. Season 1 is released right now. Okay. It's rolling out episode by episode, week by week on Redeem TV. It's a free app. You can watch them for free. And it'll be the best 22 minutes of your day every Wednesday.
And where did you film that?
Shot it 100% on location in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay. Yeah, that's a place that...
It's a great film community. We were assisted by Compass College, and they volunteered a lot of their resources, the extras, the grips, a lot of the crew were some of the students there. And when you get enough people together that are doing something special, then something special, it just happens. The experience itself was special, but then when we sit back and we watch the finished product, we're like, wow, I'm very proud of what we've done. And it all starts from Aaron Greer, top down, and he instills his confidence in this vision and the belief that we're doing something right, we're doing something special, and we're telling a story that absolutely everyone wants to hear, like what you just said.
Very cool. And then also, later on in the year, hopefully, we're going to start seeing you back in the bat suit. Is that correct?
Super excited about that. The Indiegogo for the sequel to Dying is Easy drops July 3rd, and we're looking to shoot 1 to 4 episodes, depending upon where we end up. I know for a fact we're going to end up shooting all 4 episodes because the rewards are crazy, and I can't wait to get back in the suit.
I want to be an extra in that. How do I be an extra in that?
You say, I know Kevin Porter.
I say, I know Kevin Porter, and I'm going to bring whoopie pies. Will that get me in?
Will you bring enough for the whole crew?
If that'll get me in.
Absolutely. So these are yours. Did you make these whoopies?
I did not make the whoopie. Okay. My wife bought the whoopie.
Again, too much information. Way too much. I don't know what's legal or not legal in Dallas. So we're not, in Las Vegas, when you say I bought making the whoopie, it means something so different.
It's true. That's true. But no, that was just, instead of a birthday cake this year, I got the whoopie cakes.
Wait a second. Is today your birthday?
Yesterday.
Damn, brother. Come on. Yeah. Him. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Enjoy it. You're only 21 once.
That's right.
All right.
That's right. And what better way to celebrate than to talking with Batman?
The Batman.
The Batman.
I'll do this for you guys.
All right. Give us the Batman voice.
The Batman. I'm going to say something I never thought I would say as Batman. Thank you for the whoopie pie. Never said it as Batman.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. That's a wrap for Bat Force Radio. Thanks.
Yeah.
What'd you think of those whoopie pies?
Dude,
your eyes were like,
I was like, what? You handed me the whole Tupperware, and I'm like, this is all mine? I'm like, shit, hello, diabetes.